Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special midweek edition of my Fireside Chats. There's just one story in the news that cannot wait until the weekend, so without further ado, let's discuss Donald Trump and the Special Master. If you're not up to speed, here's a quick recap of events. Donald Trump got his Special Master, Judge Dearie of the 11th Circuit Court of New York, and Judge Dearie had his first hearing on Tuesday. So, in that hearing, the first item of business was the classified nature of 100 or so documents. The DOJ said they are classified. Donald Trump's lawyer said, well, he might have declassified them, so the Special Master was put in place to help resolve this dispute. So, being a judge, he goes, okay, let's hear arguments and evidence from both sides. Turns to the Department of Justice and says, DOJ, what have you got? Department of Justice goes, of course, Your Honor. Here is pictures of the documents. As you can see, they are marked with classification markings. And here is a bunch of sworn statements from senior members of the counterintelligence community that show that they are indeed classified. And the judge went, all right, fair enough. Lawyers for Mr. Trump, what do you have to say? What evidence did you bring? And Donald Trump's lawyers go, well, Judge, we have no evidence, and we do not want to make any specific arguments at this time. And, of course, the judge didn't take that well, because in a court of law, lawyers present arguments and evidence. That's kind of their job. So, being confused, he goes, well, if you're not going to do that, then I'm going to rule in favor of the Department of Justice. Why no evidence? Why no arguments? And Trump's lawyer said, well, we think it might compromise our litigation strategy if we reveal our stance on the classification of these documents at this stage. We fear that it might negatively impact our ability to argue our client's innocence should he be indicted. And I'm no lawyer, but that doesn't sound very good for Donald Trump. But Judge Dearie goes, okay, well, the Department of Justice has shown me evidence that makes a very compelling case that these are classified. The old, it looks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and I have a signed statement from a veterinarian that says it's a duck. I'm inclined to believe it's a duck. And this is not the only time that this happened. Just this evening, Donald Trump's lawyers were defeated again at the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, where a 3-judge panel granted the Department of Justice an injunction against Judge Eileen Cannon's initial order that barred the Department of Justice from using any of the classified documents. The judges in this case wrote in their decision that the Department of Justice has made a compelling case with arguments and evidence, and yes, protecting the national security by exposing as few people to our national secrets as possible is a valid reason for them to not want a special master to go through this, and Trump's lawyers have made no arguments and produced no evidence. So, yes, based on the fact that only one side has given us arguments and evidence, we're going to rule in that side's favor and give the Department of Justice what it wants. Now, the amusing thing to me here is that Donald Trump has managed to do something that generally prosecutors try to do. He put himself in a perjury trap. You might ask, what's a perjury trap? That's simply where usually a prosecutor has a piece of evidence and they're trying to see if a subject of an investigation will lie to them about it. It's one of those, I have your text messages that said that you were here and I have you on video, that you were in a specific place, and then ask you, well, where were you on the night of the 23rd? I know where you were, but I'm going to see if you're going to tell the truth or not. Because if you lie, and now I've got you for perjury. So, how did Donald Trump get himself in a perjury trap? Well, he has been going around publicly stating, this is documents that I have declassified. They're mine, they're declassified, the government should not have them. So, judges hear this. It's not like he's hiding from the judges. Like, no, he's saying it to everybody. So the judge is like, all right, are you making this argument, Trump's lawyers? And they're like, well, we're not arguing because, again, lawyers can also go to jail for perjury and lose their law licenses if they say things to judges that aren't true. So they're like, well, we're not saying it's declassified. We're just saying that it is possible that they might be declassified, but we're not definitively claiming that. Which, again, is very funny because Donald Trump's not the only person who said this. They could obviously get a sworn statement from Donald Trump saying, yes, I did this. But you know who else has been real vocal about this? Kash Patel, a former defense official under Donald Trump. He's been going around saying, yes, I was there. I heard Donald Trump declassify all of this. They're definitely declassified. So Trump's lawyers could have gone to him, too. Said, here's Cash Bell. He was there on this date, this time, and he saw Donald Trump go, I declassify all of this. Let it be so. And that, that's an argument they could make. But they did not make that argument. So why? Why did they not make that argument? Well, the reason perjury traps work is that someone is lying. And a good indication of whether someone is lying in public is when they refuse to repeat those statements in court. Now, I don't know if there's some really sneaky legal maneuver that the Trump team is trying to do, but whatever it is, it doesn't appear to be working because the classified documents are now going to the Department of Justice. That order is immediate, and there will be a full appeal. So they could actually have the special master completely taken away by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals if they don't make some arguments and introduce some evidence. So hopefully we'll be seeing some of that from Trump's lawyers. But, they're in a tough spot because I don't think his lawyers are confident that they are declassified. So they don't want to suddenly say, yes, they're declassified, and then the Department of Justice is waiting there saying, oh, really? Well, here's our boatload of evidence that says, yes, it is classified. And judges and juries are going to go, you have a claim and a little bit of evidence. They've got a lot of evidence and a much stronger claim. Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose. And with the arguments that have been put forward so far, I bet that DOJ wins. And then Donald Trump and his lawyers are on the hook for not only the crimes listed in the warrant, but also perjury. So again, that's why they're not making this declassification claim. They're kind of being wishy-washy about it. Now, another reason that Donald Trump's lawyers may not want to commit to this argument at this time is that, frankly, it's not a very good argument. All of the laws at issue in the search warrant don't care whether the documents are classified or not. The obstruction of justice claim is just that you withheld documents in an investigation. The other law, which is a part of the Presidential Records Act, I believe, is just the willful retention of government documents, so it just matters that the documents belong to the government. Again, classification doesn't matter. The one that's a little bit tricky is the Espionage Act, as it stands to reason that, well, the government hides its secrets by classifying them, so that should matter, right? Well, not really, because the Espionage Act actually predates the modern classification system, so the text of the Espionage Act simply states that it need be national security information. It doesn't really say either way about classification because that just wasn't a thing at the time. So, whether they are classified or Trump did declassify them in some secret ritual, doesn't matter. And Trump's lawyers, I'm sure, don't want to be saddled with a weak argument because should Trump be indicted down the road, they're going to have to defend him against whatever criminal charges are brought. And, whenever you're arguing, you never want that weak argument at your side because it's something that the opposing side can attack. So when the DOJ is prosecuting, they might say, well, jury, this is an argument that, yes, they've made it, and, that's fine, but, again, we're going to go back to the fact that they've misled you about the classification of these documents, and now, because of that, you can no longer trust what the opposing counsel said, you can discount some of their other arguments, and Donald Trump's lawyers might lose credibility with the jury. So they don't really want to be saddled with this argument when it comes to any actual criminal trial. And I think that's one of the other reasons they're trying to remain flexible. Yeah, flexible is the word we'll use at this time. Where they're saying, well, they might be, they might not be, we don't want to say at this time, we'll let the special master decide. However, if the 11th Circuit decides to overturn Judge Eileen Cannon, the special master will be out of a job and he'll have to go back to the 11th Circuit of New York, and the DOJ will be able to get on with its investigation. But, we'll have to see how things develop. In the meantime, think about it. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more of my content, subscribe to the channel and make sure to hit the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I post new videos. If you want to support me on my other social media platforms, all of the links you need will be in the video description below. If you have any questions about this video or another topic that you'd like me to discuss, leave me a comment and I'll do my best to get you an answer. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.